over this example from the warm-up since some of us are having difficulty with it. So pay attention. I'm going to use completing the square. And I said keep working with fractions all the way through. Is that correct? All right, here we go. Step 1, standard form. Is it standard form? Yes. And I also make y 0. Okay. Step 2, divide by the LC. What is my leading coefficient? 1. So I divide everything by 1. So this is x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Step 3, eliminate constant. Eliminate constant. What is my constant? 6. So I subtract 6, subtract 6. We're left with x squared plus 5x space equals to negative 6. Step 4, add b over 2 squared. What is b? 5. So I add 5 over 2 squared to each side. Add 5 over 2 squared. Okay? Now I'm going to zoom in really quick. Look up. Let me rewrite this. Five over 2. All right. Now I'm going to focus on this side first. I'm going to simplify this side. Look up. Ready? Here it goes. I need pencils down. I have a fraction here, which means I need to make this into a fraction. That means it becomes negative 6 over 1. Yes? Plus, what is 5 squared? What is 2 squared? All right, so now we have two fractions we're adding. What does this need to be? So that means to find a common denominator, this I need to multiply times 4, which means I need to multiply this 1 times 4. Are we there so far? All right, so that becomes negative 24 over 4 plus 25 over 4. Are we there so far? So, what is my common denominator now? 4. And what is negative 24 plus 25? 1. Are we there so far? Okay, so now I simplify this side. I'm going to bring all of this down. X squared plus 5x plus 5 over 2 squared. Can I simplify this a little bit more? Yes. Now check this out. Look up, please. If I was to simplify this side, it would become x squared plus 5x plus 25 over 4 equals to 1/4. Is that correct? All right. So what step are we on? Let's see. Step 4. Step 5 is factor. Okay. How do we factor this perfect square? You guys remember? Square root. Square root of the first. X. Square root of the last. 5 over 2 squared equals 1/4. And I didn't say to copy that, right? Because you're going to do an extra step, and I'm showing you not to do this step. So watch. Look up. I asked you not to copy, didn't I? All right, so watch. Why don't I want you to do this step? Watch. Because let's say I wanted to save on doing this work. I can just factor here. Square root of the first. Square root of the last. Why do I get 5 over 2? Because the square root cancels the squared. Instead of doing that extra step. Does everybody follow? Okay, so therefore don't do the step that I just showed you. I just showed you to save step on the process. You go from here to here. X plus 5 over 2 squared equals 1/4. Are we there so far? All right, and the last step, we do three things: square root, solve for x, and two equations. You're just paying attention, guys. Here it goes. Square root. Square root. This cancels this. We got x plus 5/2 equals, what is square root of 1? What is square root of 4? But since I took the square root, it's plus minus square root of 1/2. Now I solve for x. What do I do here? Minus 5/2 minus 5/2. What do I have left? Let's see. X equals negative 5/2 plus minus 1/2. Now, why do I need the plus minus? Because that allows me to do up my two equations. Here are my two equations. X sub 1 is negative 5/2 plus, what is this? 1/2. Let's see. What is negative 5 plus 1? Negative 4. Common denominator is 2. What is negative 4 divided by 2? Negative 2. X sub 2. Again, negative 5/2 minus 1/2. What is negative 5 and negative 1? Negative 6. And common denominator is 2. So this is negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3. These are my solutions. X-intercepts, zeros, roots. Okay, now copy that. So let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can. There it is. Copy that. Okay, copy this down. Example Q. Focus. Title it, Completing the Square. Comp the square. Completing the square. X squared plus 3x plus 2 equals y. Okay, let's do this one together. Here we go. Step 1, standard form. Is it in standard form? No. Yes, it is, but we still need to change the y to 0. X squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. Step 2. What's step 2? Divide by the LC, the leading coefficient. What's my leading coefficient? 1, so we divide by 1, and we end up with x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. Step 3. Eliminate constant. So my constant is 2, so to eliminate that, we subtract 2, subtract 2. We end up with x squared plus 3x, leave a blank, equal to negative 2. Step 4. Add b over 2 squared. What is b here? 3. So we add 3 over 2 squared to each side. Add 3 over 2 squared to each side. Okay? But now, before I continue, I need to simplify the right side. So let me zoom into the equation so we can simplify the right side. Okay. So look at it. Now we have a fraction and a whole number. We need to make this one into a fraction, yes? So I rewrite it as negative 2 over 1 plus, what is 3 squared? 9. What is 2 squared? 4. So to get a common denominator, this one needs to be a what? Multiply times 4, top and bottom. Multiply times 4. Let's rewrite this. 4 times negative 2, that's negative 8. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 9 over 4. So Do we have a common denominator now? Yes, I write it here. And what is 8? Negative 8 plus 9. 1. And now we simplify that side already. I'm going to zoom out. I bring all of this down. X squared plus 3x plus parentheses 3 over 2 squared equal to 1/2. Now, to save a step, we're not going to do 3 squared and 2 squared, right? At this point, we're going to do the factor, right? Let's factor. So how do I factor? Square root of the first, x, square root of the last. That leaves me with 3 over 2, and the middle sign is plus, and that is to the second power, equal to 1/4. So far, so good? All right, and we're now in step 6. What is the first thing I do for step 6? Square root. Take the square root of this to cancel that squared, and take the square root of the other side. This cancel this. We got x plus 3 over 2 equals, what is square root of 1? 1. What is square root of 4? 2. And since we took the square root, we write it as plus minus. Now we solve for x. What do I do there? Minus 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2. This cancels. We're left with x equals negative 3 over 2 plus minus 1 over 2. And right there, we just need to write our two equations. X sub 1, I have negative 3 over 2, which is here. Negative 3 over 2. Then plus 1/2. Do we have a common denominator here? Yes, 2. What is negative 3 plus 1? Negative 2, which is negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. Okay. X sub 2, I get, again, negative 3 over 2, but now it's minus 1/2. Common denominator is 2. What is negative 3, negative 1? Negative 4. What is negative 4 divided by 2? Negative 2. These are my solutions. X-intercepts, zeros, and roots. A little bit better? Okay, let's do another one. Now this one you're going to do all the way by yourself. Okay? Ready? Let me zoom out so we can look at this beauty. Woo! Let's go. Look at that. Woo! You can sell that on eBay or something. You wouldn't pay like money to make a card like that? No. Wow, be that. What? Anyways, example mega Q. Do this one by yourself. X squared plus x minus 6 equals y. Ready? Copy that and go. After you're done, I'm going to go over the process one more time to make sure you got it. I'll give you some time. Copy that and go. Okay, here goes the process. Yes? Ready? Step 1, standard form. Make sure that y is equal to 0, so x squared plus x minus 6 equal to 0. Step 2, divide by the leading coefficient, which is 1 in this case, so we're left with x squared plus x minus 6 equal to 0. Eliminate the constant, so I need to add 6, I end up with x squared plus x space equal to 6. Step 4, add b over 2 squared. What is b? 1. So it's 1 over 2 squared. Add 1 over 2 squared. I'm going to zoom in so I can focus on the right-hand side. This side. I need to make that into a fraction because I'm going to end up with a fraction over here. So this is 6 over 1 plus, what is 1 squared? 1. What is 2 squared? 4. To have a common denominator, I need to multiply this one times 4, this one times 4. Therefore, this is 24 over 4 plus 1/4. Now that we have a common denominator, the denominator will be 4. What is 24 plus 1? 25. Now I'm going to zoom out. Okay? So I bring everything else down. X squared plus x plus 1/2 squared equals to that. Step 5, I factor. How do I factor? Square root of the first, square root of the last, sine of the middle, and all that squared equals to 25 over 4. And we're on step 6. All we have to do at the end is square root, solve for x, and write two equations. Square root to get rid of that one, and what do I do to one side, do to the other? This cancels this. We're left with x plus 1/2 equals, what is square root of 25? 5. What is square root of 4? 2, and it's plus minus because we just took the square root. From there, subtract 1/2, subtract 1/2. I end up with x equals negative 1/2 plus minus 5/2. And our two equations are x sub 1, negative 1/2 plus 5/2 is 4/2, which is 2, and x sub 2, negative 1/2 minus 5/2, which is negative 6/2, which is negative 3. Those are my solutions. X-intercepts, zeros, and roots. Hands if you got that. Okay, good. Yeah. Of course. Of course. Haven't I been writing them all? Yes. So, let's do it again. Let's do another one. Do this one by yourself. I know they're not that hard. Look. Look, look, look. Be nice. Look. No, they're not hard. They're flexible. All right, here we go. Example. Be nice. Wow, be nice. Example, super duper Q. X squared minus x minus 6 equals y. Do that one by yourself. Now check this out. I'm going to stop the video here. I recorded the other one so that you guys can have them as reference. I'm going to upload those. And your home plate for tonight, check this out, is very similar to what you did last night. You're going to do 4 different ways, not these. Pick your own. You already have plenty of examples in your notes, yes? Just pick 2 equations, quadratic equations. Doesn't matter which. I'm sorry? I just said that, yes.
Can we just copy them?
Just copy the equation and you solve it 4 different ways. And then you're going to derive the quadratic formula 4 times again so you can study.
Yes.
All right? Enjoy your home play. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.